Oh, there's a prang in the side there.
It's down the
It turns right into the road where he should have turned left. Jim Richards from New Zealand.
The leader is Peter Brock there.
Captain Peter Janson.
They're locking brakes going into the corner and they're pushing the cars as hard as they can.
As people feel that this was going to be the fastest and the hardest 1,000 ever run at Bathurst. Away they go, and Allan Moffatt gets going more quickly in first gear. I don't think he's working the car hard as he lets Colin Bond jump to the front and head into the corner first. He positions himself behind Bond, runs through the corner as the rest of the field gets underway and runs and streams down the straight cleanly, all trying to find a safe position.
And a big start by John Goss, who came way up to be right alongside Allan Grice there, and is jostling for a place. He doesn't want to be too far back, despite being on 10th place in the grid. Oh, and already so many troubles in the pits. Jim Richards has had a few problems in the New Zealand Holden, but look at them going down the straight. You can almost see the gap there as we pull back. You'll see the distance between the two cars. It's you can see now how the Falcon is certainly catching up to Bond, so there's no doubt who's got the legs. Allan Moffatt was saying he was building the car for down the straight. Now he may be out-braked, but let's see, it's side by side. Bond is going a little later. He'll take a very difficult line on the outside. Moffatt is not going to let him through. In fact, he closes up again because he knows he's got the line, and he's going to shoulder Colin Bond out of it if he possibly can. And now it's all acceleration up to the line. This is only third lap, and already it is neck and neck, side by side. Imagine the cheer from the crowd. It is Bond who's got the better gearing and has more acceleration, and it is Brock who's behind, who's closed on them both. But first in this time, and being so close to Bond's nose, is Moffatt around the bend. And now Allan Moffatt leads the race, and Peter Brock pulls out and decides that he might like to lead for a change, and he goes up on the outside of Colin Bond. Well, indeed. Quite 3 1/4 laps, and look at the distance between these cars. It's a real race, and Brock is the one who wants to get to the lead. Peter Brock seems to be dropping back quite a bit. You can see how close now Bond is to Moffatt.
I think that's the situation. It's not that Brock's fallen down, but Bond, I would say, has been given a pit signal to go and put the pressure on Moffatt.
Oh, Colin Bond in the pits. We'll get on to that question later on. While Bond comes in for the first stop, a scheduled stop. He was expected in around this time. Let's just watch and see how the drilled Harry Firth crew go about their action. One man adding fuel, another ready to go. One underneath checking the back tyres and differential.
Ian Tate under the back wheels, and he's adjusting the rear brakes. You see him turning the thing. This is the major problem of the brakes on the Torana. They've only got drum brakes there, and he's adjusting them. He's well experienced in this. It's stinking hot under there. He's burning his hands doing this particular job. There'll be somebody doing it on the other side. Keeps the pedal high for the driver and gives them greater confidence in their brakes.
Oh, there's a prang in the side there. It's
Grice.
One of our leading drivers, the Allan Grice car, which has gone in the Craven Mile vehicle. Oh, you can see the disgust on his face. Whether it's a brake problem or not, I don't know, but Grice, who was running in about third place at that time, he has had it. He's a very upset driver, as you can see.
Well, Allan Grice and Jim Hunter in the Craven Mile car. You've run your race. Allan, what happened?
We were lapping exactly as we set out to do. We were very happy with the pace of the race. And I came up and lapped 2 cars at the end of the straight. I went between the 2 of them, and then the 3 of us went in the braking area. There was an Escort on the inside. I don't know the car on the outside, but that's the car that hit me, and just knocked us off the road. Straight into the arm car on one side and back across into the bank and into the fence. You can't do anything about that. We're just knocked out of the race by some galoot.
Brock, in fact, is leading him now, and I think that's Janson's car behind, which may suggest that Gagan is slowing a little bit.
Certainly the gap is increasing between Bond and Gagan.
Yes, so it's Brock in front now. 17 is Janson behind, and he too is catching Gagan as well, something he shouldn't be doing. Gagan is a bit of a sandwich now between the two Toranas. Brock has passed, he's in second spot. Janson is having a bit of a nibble there to get by. The flags are out warning the Escorts that they've got some big fish behind them. Upsets with the 2 leading cars. Moffatt has been in the pits with transmission troubles, couldn't select gears, had a gearbox change, and after only 40 minutes and many burnt fingers back on the track again. And Colin Bond, who was leading him in the race, has had transmission troubles. Johnnie Walker at the wheel, they've been in the pits as well, and the Holden dealer team threat has vanished from the race. So the 2 leaders, Allan Moffatt and Colin Bond, have both had disastrous sessions in the last hour, and both are now stripped from all contention.
The leader is Peter Brock there in car number 5. running second and catching him all the time, and by quite a measurable margin each lap, is Frank Gardner driving the Ron Hodgson-entered Torana number 7. So it's going to be a great battle. It is a great battle between these two cars.
The outright leader in the Hardy Feroda 1000. Frank Gardner still driving rapidly and safely in the Ron Hodgson Torana. Or should I also add the Channel 7 Torana, because the number is there for some particular reason. It bears the roundel of 80 and 7, so there are a few fingers crossed in the various camera towers around the circuit. 12 cameras, in fact, covering this race for you this year. He's got Allan Moffatt right behind him, which makes a rather interesting sort of exercise. Moffatt, of course, was the early leader in the race. Seemed to be doing it so comfortably for so long in the race, and then had a gearbox malfunction, changed the box in a remarkable 40 minutes, but 40 minutes off the circuit, of course, is far too much time to give away, and he is way down the field, much further in fact down than Colin Bond, who also had problems with the transmission. There were talk of axle replacements and other such troubles, but now they've crept up and they're running in about 5th or 6th place. So once again, the Holden dealer team car, despite that really severe transmission problem they suffered in the earlier stages of the race, is back in fair contention, because we've got him coming in now for a pit stop. This will be a critical one as the car is brought in for what would probably be its last scheduled stop. So the race leader is in. We'll put the stopwatch on. Bob Morris talking to Frank Gardner. Hasn't got his hat on, so he doesn't intend getting in the car and taking over. So it'll be Gardner who'll stay on board and carry the race right through to the finish, I would think, if they can go that far.
Ron Hodgson there taking a keen interest in what's going on.
As is Kerry Luckens down there as well, right on the spot down there. The situation is for you.
And up the top of the mountain, my goodness, there's somebody a long way off the circuit, right out there in the dust. Right out among a clump of photographers.
You can see the looks of concern on the faces of the spectators there. People still rushing to see what's happened. An awkward position for us to get much closer to bring in the information. It's been a long way up the escape road, though, that Colin Bond has come. He's going back down the main straight, and Colin really had them scattering there. So some sort of brake trouble, I'd say. He turns left now.
It's down the
turns right into the road where he should have turned left. Colin Bond went so far up there that he really had them running way up the dirt road. Now, he likes dirt roads, but that's not the reason he went up there.
Here's Bond.
Bond getting fuel. Be interested to see what they do about the brakes. They're looking at the far side of the car. Circulating regularly. Now we know he's been conserving the brakes. The thing we don't know, of course, is just how much conservation that Frank Gardner has been able to achieve by going just a little more steadily on them. More trouble. Colin Bond in the car now, had an off. Brought it in. He went up on the escape road, had to spin to avoid some of the crowd. Wincing or sleeping, hard to tell with Colin Bond. Colin Bond still in the pits there while they try to solve this brake trouble.
Well, 10 minutes he's been in there so far. It was 14 at Sandown as they poured water over each front brake and then had to dismantle the calipers and replace them. But in this occasion, it's been 10 1/4.
Bond takes the car out. Much preferring at this stage of the race, with it lost and only a chance of finishing in a reasonable place, to have brakes so that he can finish it safely. Allan Moffatt, who is as concerned about safety as anyone on the track, making the point that with the sort of speeds that they're achieving. Back again, by the way, to Kerry Luckens down the pitch, who has some information for us.
Well, Allan's out of the car, obviously now calling it a day.
Look at it. 5 years ago, I thought Pete Gagan was fantastic when he went around here in a 250. Today we're doing 230s. 20 seconds. Might not be much to the layman, but believe me, around here it's dynamite.
So it's the regulations are entirely, virtually at fault, in your opinion?
You don't run an F111 with a Spitfire motor, do you?
Peter Brock is driving a car we're watching at the moment. A little bit of confusion here, I confess. The information being fed into the computer at the moment from the ARDC lap scorers suggests that Brock is in the lead. That was the latest situation that came to this a few minutes ago. I don't see how it could be, because we saw Gardner overtake. Brock has since been in the pits for a fairly long stop. The information just before was that in fact Gardner had almost 2 laps over Peter Brock, and now the lap scorers have Brock back in front. I don't think it's right, but that's the way it's coming through at the moment. We'll try and sort that out for you. In the meantime, there's no doubt that Brock is certainly either first or second and still has an excellent chance of winning the race, but whether or not his brakes would have been conserved to the same degree as Gardner's is a very moot point. And with a lot of the race still to go, I can't see him being nearly as strongly placed as Frank Gardner. Someone who looks as though he could do to be in the same place as Jim Richards from New Zealand there, just opening the bonnet. You can see the steam or smoke issuing from the side. That came third last year in a Torana. A very wet drive. He and Rod Coppins are the 2 in this car.
Well, the latest lap score shows still Brock Sampson at 132 laps in car 5, with Morris Gardner on 131 in car 7. Janson Harvey 6 laps behind in 3rd place in car 17. And then Seaton and Don Smith in 4th place outright, 1st place quite obviously in class C in car number 28, 1 lap behind the Janson Harvey SLR Torana.
Captain Peter Janson, the mad merry captain of motoring or whatever, and his cohort in this race, John Harvey.
Actually, I've been watching these 2 for the last 2 or 3 laps, and they're having a real ding-dong out there. You'd think that this was about the first half hour. They're really pushing one another. They're locking brakes going into the corner, and they're pushing the cars as hard as they can. I don't know if they feel they're on the same lap and got a tremendous amount to lose and gain. If you watch them, you'll find that they're pushing the cars as hard as ever they can.
Peter Brock, Brian Sampson car now well and truly in the lead. Second place, Frank Gardner. Brock's there, but the Capri is trying to get round there. Can't do it. Clearing the track and slowing down the cars. That's Bond taking his car past. Marie-Claude Beaumont with John Leffler now inherits the lead of the 2-litre class. Schenken is okay. Schenken's okay, more than we can say about the car. 6.5 hours racing, and Brock has about a 2.5-minute lead over the Torana, a Ron Hodgson car, just in the pits at the moment, with Bobby Morris taking over from Frank Gardner. They've both driven this car very well, really conserving it, trying to keep it in one piece, but the task almost beyond them. The second last time Peter Brock goes to the final bend at the end of the straight, gets the last lap board.
Last lap sign goes up. So 2.5 minutes, 2 3/4 minutes now before the end of the race for Peter Brock, the race leader in car number 5. Sharing the driving with Brian Sampson, but Sampson doing a minor part of the driving stint. Peter Brock's been at the wheel for a very long time in this last session.
I think it's hard for people to understand just how much this is going to mean to Peter Brock. He's beaten the works cars. He left the team, he went out to do his own thing, he had a bad run there for a period, and here he's come back and he's beaten them fairly and squarely himself.
And what's more, achievement for 3 men, not only Peter Brock, but the men who've backed him and assisted him. Norm Gallon and Bruce Hindhoff at the Melbourne developers, who've done wonders with the motor in this car. Very powerful, and they seem to have found more reliability than other people have been able to extract from the L34.
He's also broken a hoodoo which says that you don't win at Sandown and win at Bathurst. Moffatt did once, but nobody else has ever done it. And Peter Brock won the recent Sandown 250, and now we can say he's won the Hardy Ferodo 1000 in the same year. So that hoodoo is starting to disappear.
And it certainly hasn't been done by a private entrant before.
A great achievement, and wins are important to any professional racing driver, but very important to somebody like Peter Brock, as you say, Howard, trying to establish himself and trying to provide just rewards to justify for his sponsors and supporters the effort, the money that they put in. And in this case, it's a Melbourne Holden dealer that have pulled off the effort, rather like the Sydney Ford dealer that pulled it off last year.
The last time round, and the crowd acknowledged the man who's going to win this race. Only a kilometre to go now as Peter Brock goes for the last time down through the S's. Heads down, will change angle to see the nose on view as he approaches Forest Elbow. Again, the cheer goes up. He waves his acknowledgement to the crowd and the men holding the flags, the marshals all around the track. Peter Brock, a moment of absolute triumph. Won the race 3 years ago. There's the signal around the circuit. Some people are well prepared for these results. Down Conrod Straight, the snub-tailed Torana SLR 5000 L34, prepared by those master engine tuners from Melbourne, Gown and Hindhoff, driven by that master driver, the man who split with the Holden dealer team after winning the national title for them last year and having won at Bathurst 3 years ago. Coming down for the last corner, and then he'll brake. Takes time off to wave. He's got this race well and truly in his grasp, and Peter Brock will be feeling very happy now. Only 400 metres to go to take the checkered flag and win the 1975 Hardy-Ferodo 1000.
That's it, the checkered flag for Peter Brock in the 1975 Hardy-Ferodo 1000 at Bathurst.
This could be interesting. Oh boy, the race was almost over as far as those two were concerned. But it's certainly over and in triumph for Peter Brock.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of the 1975 Hardy-Ferodo 1000, Peter Brock and Brian Sampson.